I feel like I should note that out of the 83 books I read, I think I rated 11 5 stars. We have 7 tiers. They are as follows: required reading. We have it was Coachella 2016, meaning it's iconic, it was the moment, loved it, not an absolute favorite though. Solid, we've got mid, those are self-explanatory. It's not me, it's you, meaning I genuinely went into this book with good intentions. I wanted to love it and couldn't stand it. Boring and bored, self-explanatory, and jail. So the first book that I read of 2024 was Ruin and Rising. It was the last book of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I'm gonna say this was mid. I haven't read any of her other books, and I really want to read Six of Crows this year. Hex, I'm honestly gonna say jail, because there's this scene where it's like 2 adults eavesdropping on like an intimate moment between high schoolers. I think that's jail. The guest list is solid. I really like a reality TV, trashy, rich people type thriller. She's Come Undone. I really liked this story. Oops. And I think of Dolores all the time. I'm going to say this was solid. Big Swiss. This really disappointed me. I didn't love any of the characters. I felt like a lot of it was just being like weird and quirky for the sake of it. Yeah, I think it's not me, it's you. I really, really wanted to love you, and you were kind of dumb. Story of my life. And then we have The Memory Police, which is really an all-time fave now, so I'm gonna say required reading. The Body in Question, this was pretty good. It's about like a jury, but there's also a lot of stuff going on, and that was kind of the downfall. I think it was really good commentary on how like personal issues can seep into jury decisions. Next we have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I'm also gonna say this was mid. YN is another one with a really cool premise, but it just wasn't that great. It was about fan fiction and parasocial relationships and really idolizing the idols in our society and like thinking they can do no wrong. But the writing was like more than pretentious. There was not a single time that it was a cohesive story, and I knew what was going on. So I'm gonna say it's not me, it's you. We have You're That Bitch by Bretman Rock. I am going to say it was Coachella 2016. It was the moment he would love to be there. And he was there. And he was the moment. Next we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I'm also gonna say that was Coachella 16. It was a really good time. Next we have The Dinner. I'm gonna say jail. My friend Isabel, shout out Isabel, she rated this like 2 stars, and I was like, I think I'm gonna see for myself, because I think the premise of like what parents do in a situation where their child did something like heinous, I think that's interesting. But this book was really bad, and the commentary was really misogynistic. Next we have Ripe. I'm going to say this was solid. I liked this one. A Curse So Dark and Lonely, I'm gonna say it was mid. I didn't continue that series, but I did enjoy myself while reading the first book. Next we have 7 Days in June. I loved this book, and I will let you know I am not a big rom-com or romance enjoyer, but this romance was so good and I really recommend it. It really was Coachella 2016. Next we have How High We Go in the Dark. I liked a few of the stories in this book. I'm gonna say it was mid though. I didn't know it was going to be like short stories, and I think that is interesting if it's done well. I didn't know if this was done well because there were like 2 really standout stories that I still think of, and then the rest I don't remember, and I don't think I really enjoyed. So next we have Men We Reaped. I'm gonna say this is required reading. This is Jessamine Ward's memoir, and it's really good. Next we have A Spell of Good Things. I'm gonna say this was solid. It was really interesting to learn about a different culture and the customs. It was kind of long and a little bit boring at times, but I did like it, so I'm gonna say it was solid. The Whispers. I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna say it was solid. Okay, next we have Emma Cline, The Guest. Jail, because what was that ending and what was that story? I don't like Emma Cline, you guys. Sorry if you're an Emma Cline stan. I really don't like her books. Freedom is a constant struggle. This is required reading. You need to read this. It's very good. It's on intersectionality mostly. Yeah, read it. The Island and Missing Trees. Love. I'm gonna say it was Coachella 2016. Anything Elif Shafak writes, I love it. The Prison Healer. Jail. You guys, jail. I cannot believe how many people gave this book 5 stars, and I can't believe how much it was circulating on TikTok. It was honestly bad. How we find out about anything that's going on in this entire like dystopian fantasy universe is a little girl asking, well, why did this happen? And then what happened? But why did this happen? And like, have you ever heard of like show not tell? This writer, I don't remember who it is, but she needs to wise up on that, because her writing was poor. It was poorly written, really. Earthlings. This was solid. I liked this book, and I didn't love it at first, but then I kind of had to digest it. Oh my god, digest it. And I was like, oh whoa, that was really, really, really brilliant. So solid. Of Ruthless Vows. It's Not Me, It's You. I loved Divine Rivals, and I hated Ruthless Vows. Next we have Happiness Falls. Boring and bored. Sorry, I was bored and boring while reading that. Is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. It was Coachella 2016. What is going on here? I really, really enjoyed that. I love a trashy, college-centered thriller. Good stuff. Eat it up. I also had a trashy, college-centered life, so. Next is The Woman in Me. It was Coachella 2016. What else can I say about that? Next, we have God Killer. Unpopular opinion. This was mid. I didn't continue the series, and I probably won't. Next is The Heiress. Solid. Loved this. Give me all the rich people drama. I want it. Cloud Cuckoo Land. This was solid. It was a solid book. It was long, is what I mean by that. But it was a good read. And even though I might have been like slowly falling asleep through a lot of it, what I did get out of it was really good. Have Confessions. This was weird and like maybe controversial, but I'm gonna say it was solid. We have The Three Body Problem. This one, it's me, it's not you, but I'm gonna say boring and bored. I was literally taking notes on this book, and I still didn't understand anything that was going on. Study and Drowning. I really liked this book. I'm gonna say it was solid. Whale Fall. Jail, because it actually made me feel sick. Good Girl, Bad Blood. Ugh. Guys, another It's Not Me, It's You. I really wanted to like this book because the first one was Coachella 2016. So I thought we were here for another party, but no bueno. I have A Psalm in the Wild Built. This felt like a nice warm hug and a kiss on the nose. It was so good. Required reading. Tempest of Tea. I'm going to say It's Not Me, It's You. I really wanted to like this book. I thought that the characters were dumb and they shouldn't be carrying out a heist. They had no business carrying out a heist. Bridgerton. Jail. You guys, Daphne like literally committed a crime. Heartless Hunter. Another It's Not Me, It's You. I thought this book was really, really predictable. In the Dream House. Required reading. Amazing. Go read it. The Only One Left. I'm going to say it was solid, even though I don't like Riley Sager. Because Dowry of Blood. Oh my god. So good. It was Coachella 2016. Here's another Emma Klein. Jail. Next we have Pet. I'm going to say this was mid. It was alright. Lightlark. Jail, because what the F was going on? Really? Okay, next we have Anxious People. I loved this book. I'm going to say that was required reading. Woman Talking, boring and bored. I think that Mennonite culture is really interesting. I had like a phase, thanks to TLC, when I was like in middle school, but I thought this book was really boring, sorry. 100 Years War in Palestine, required reading. Everybody go read it. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. It was Coachella 2016 because it put me in a slump because it was so good that I couldn't read anything for like months. All Night Pharmacy. I honestly don't remember much about this book. I'm going to say boring and bored. Defending Jacob. I'm going to say it was mid. I was going to say boring and bored because it was boring at times, but I actually did enjoy it, and I like the idea of an awful child. How to Love Your Daughter. Boring and bored, and also jail, because narcissistic parents never take accountability, not even fictionally. So yeah, you know what? Jail, because I'm feeling that. jail. Next, I read The Hawthorne Legacy, and it's all of these sequels that I always am disappointed with. I'm gonna say It's Not Me, It's You. That book was not as good, anywhere near as good as the first book. I have Lady Tan's Circle of Women. Required reading. Honestly, it was so good, and learning about like the medicinal culture of China was so interesting. I loved this book and I cried. Some technical difficulties, but we are back. So up next we have All Good People Here. This is by Ashley Flowers, and she's the podcaster that does Crime Junkie. I don't listen to that podcast, so I don't know anything about her and her podcasting abilities, but based on her writing abilities, jail. Sorry, Ashley Flowers. Okay, next we have Tender is the Flesh. Honestly, it was Coachella 2016. We have How to Save Babylon. Really good. I'm going to say it was solid. Interesting Facts About Space. That was solid. I really liked that book. Bright Young Women. Yeah, required reading. It was so well done. Salt Grows Heavy. I'm going to say It's Not Me, It's You. The writing was really beautiful. I just like didn't really know what was going on at times, and it was really short, so like obviously felt unfinished. Of My Lovely Wife. This was mid. I waited on Libby for like half a year to get this book, and it was really mid. A Certain Hunger. I did like this book. It just wasn't everything that I wanted or needed it to be, so I'm honestly gonna say it was mid. Where Sleeping Girls Lie was so good. I'm gonna say it was Coachella 2016. Next we have Our Wives Under the Sea. It just didn't hit for me. I was really excited. The premise is really cool. I'm gonna say It's Not Me, It's You. Marriage Portrait. Honestly, required reading. It was so good. Oops. It was so good. I haven't read any other Maggie O'Farrell books, but I'm definitely going to. Loved it. Sometimes I Lie. Honestly, boring and bored. I don't think I like Alice Feeney either. This year I learned I don't like Emma Cline and I don't like Alice Feeney. The Vegetarian. Sorry, unpopular opinion. Boring and bored. Hello, Beautiful. I loved this book. But honestly, I'm going to say it was Coachella 2016, because I think the reason I loved it so much is because I needed a story of like forgiveness in a family setting. Masters of Death. I'm going to say this was mid. It was my first Olivia Blake book, and I didn't hate her writing like a lot of people do, but it was a little bit dragging, so I'm going to say it was mid. If We Were Villains. It was required reading. So good. If you haven't read it, you have to read it. It took me like actually 6 months to read because I left my copy on a plane, and then I saw it was on Kindle Unlimited and I was so excited and I read it all in one night. If We Were Villains was so good. Has the author written anything else? I don't know. I need to look it up. Annie Bot. I'm gonna say this was solid. It was good. I really enjoyed the premise. I thought it was interesting, fast-paced, well done. Of The Naturals, I'm gonna say this was mid, and everybody loved this, but I think it was just okay. Abolition Democracy, another Angela Y. Davis, and that's obviously required reading. Is this getting hectic? Is this too hectic for you guys? Listen for the Lie. I did listen to this one on audiobook, and I thought it was mid. Journey of Souls. This is everything to me right now. I'm currently listening to the sequel. I think it's called The Destiny of Souls, and this is basically just about the idea that our souls are everlasting. If you're interested in past life regression, I really recommend it because it's case studies of past life regression, but more like in between life regression, which sounds really far out, and you have to go into it open-minded if you're going to enjoy it. But for me, it was required reading. It was so good. Next, we have Wayward, which was another major bummer for me. I'm gonna say It's Not Me, It's You. I really wanted to love this book. I thought the intergenerational trauma was really well done in this story, but I was really bored at times. And I didn't like care at all about one of the point of views, and I don't think that's a good thing. So, It's Not Me, It's You. Next, we have The Eyes Are the Best Part. This was solid. I really love me a psychological horror. Get Well Soon. I'm going to say this was solid too. It's a nonfiction, and it's about the craziest plagues of like history, and it was really well done. It was funny. It was good. With the Fire on High. This was recommended to me by a librarian, so I checked it out, not knowing it was like going to be extremely YA, and for that reason I'm going to say it was just mid. Spells for Forgetting. Boring and Bored, another one that I got from TikTok thinking I'll really love it, and I was bored and boring. Next we have How to Be Eaten. I'm honestly gonna say boring and bored. I was pretty bored, and I also didn't like get the premise that these were fairy tale retellings until way too far into the book. And one of the girls' names is Gretel. It's not all there, you guys. I read a lot, but it's not all there. Next we have the last book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. This is The Conjuring of Light. I'm gonna say it was solid. I thought it was a good end to the trilogy. I hated the second book, so the entire trilogy to me was kind of mid, but this was solid. And that's it, you guys. That's all 83 books. At the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. This is really fun for me. I'm gonna shoot for posting weekly, and if you guys want to follow along with my 2025 reading journey, I would so appreciate it if you subscribed, liked the video, left a few comments. I'll chat with you. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.